Do you ever lay awake at night just wondering about how things work in the future? Like, what's life going to be like for your kids? Uh, I get stuck laying awake just worrying about things sometimes late at night. And usually it leads to me trying to kind of understand how things work. And I just play it out in my head. Um, I want to share with you guys kind of how I feel or how I kind of interpret what's going on in Canada and the problems we face. And full disclaimer, I don't have a degree in economics or anything. I'm just a regular idiot. This is my interpretation, but I want to put this out there to get your opinion. Is this kind of right, kind of wrong, really wrong? Like, let me know. But let's dive into it because this is kind of how I unravel things in my head. So when I think of the situation in Canada, I think of kind of like there's a triangle. And essentially what we've got is we've got money, we've got people, and we've got output. What happens is the government creates the money. The money's given to us, the people, for work. We create output, and then we use money to buy the output. So at the end of the day, that seems pretty straightforward. Now, the government does something called inflation. Well, I shouldn't say the government does inflation. The government creates money, which causes inflation. Because what happens is the pool of money gets bigger. And if there's more money and the same amount of people, then more people have more money. But if the output stays the same, more people with more money trying to buy the same stuff, prices just go up. Now, I think there's a step further, though, because not only has the money supply grown drastically over the last 50, 100 years, but the amount of people in Canada has also grown drastically. So now, in this example, we've got more money, more people. So all the people have the same amount of money as they did before, but there's still the same amount of output and there's more people competing for it. So now we've basically got costs go up and people have less money, which is a lot like I feel like we're dealing with today. Now, in theory, I think with this system, the output's supposed to grow as well proportionately. In theory, I guess, if the system becomes more efficient and less people make more stuff, then there should be an increase in prosperity in society. Whereas what I feel like is happening, at least, is there's more money, there's more people, but the output's lagging. So there's more money in the system, things cost more, but we all feel like we relatively have the same amount of money. And it's tough. Things are struggling. Now, I'm curious, like, is this complete lunacy? Like, what do you think? Like, leave a video, leave a comment, like, write something. I would love for someone who really gets this stuff, is passionate about this, to share. Like, I'm always trying to learn, but is it just me that feels like there's a ton of inflation out there? The population's growing like crazy, but there's still the same finite number of houses, relatively speaking, like housing supplies lagging. Cost of like beef I saw the other day is like hitting all-time highs. So there's not more cattle. We pay a crazy amount of tax, like, but just what's going on? Share with me. I'm genuinely curious, and I'm curious what you think. But that's how I kind of understand things when I lay awake at night and I think about it. And it seems to me, once again, there's more money than ever. There's more people than ever, but there's the same amount of stuff, and we're fighting over it. And it seems like the 0.1%, they're doing great. The rest of us, like, I think we got to figure out another way. We got to get smarter. We got to figure out how to keep more of our money from the CRA, from the banks. We need to keep more of that money, and then we need to use it really smart. We got to buy assets. We got to eliminate debts. We got to pay less interest. And we got to get the money working for us for our future. And we got to be as tax efficient as possible. We got to be smart about it. We have to be strategic and focus on our long-term goals. Because personally, I'm feeling an awful lot like what worked for our parents and our grandparents, kind of just, live a good life, work hard, just make reasonable choices, and you'll do well. I don't know about that anymore. At least for me personally, when I lay awake at night and I think about the future of my kids, like, I feel like if I'm going to give my kids a fighting chance to have the advantages I did and my parents had, I feel like I need to work my ass off. I feel like I need to be smart. I need to keep as much money from the bank as possible. Make my mortgage the lowest cost it can be. I need to keep more of my money from the CRA by being strategic and tax efficient. Nothing not allowed. Do everything by the rules. We should pay tax and fund hospitals and stuff, but I think we should pay as little tax as we legally can. So that means being tax efficient. And then I think I need to work with good professionals, like a good financial planner and accountant. I need to get my money working for me ASAP. Because I don't know about you, but if you've seen those memes where it's like, I should have bought a house when I was 2 to get away from housing prices, like, I feel like that's going to be us. We need to get things moving faster, sooner. And like, I'm coming up on 35. I feel like I'm behind the bus because, like, I don't want to work till I'm 80. What about you? Like, what do you guys think? What should we do? How can we be better?